Irish people are a nation, but at the moment we're being treated like a province. Why do you say that? Because we see that to discuss the affairs of Ireland and trade and relationships, even in the internal border and Ireland, instead of Leo Varadkar, Michelle O'Neill and your Peter Donaldson discussing these affairs in Ireland, be it in Dublin or in Belfast, these issues of Ireland, the internal affairs of Ireland, the internal border of Ireland is being discussed by Ursula von der Leyen of the European Commission and the British Prime Minister, Sunak. That's not on. So this discussion, whether you call it the Northern Ireland Protocol or Windsor Accord or whatever it is, and we haven't really seen the contents yet, so we can't really comment on it, is that it really shows that EU membership in matters of trade and political relations makes Ireland a complete province. Only outside the EU can Irish people, as a nation, start to, in the island of Ireland, have meaningful discussions among ourselves and decide on our trade relationships with the world. Only as an independent state outside the EU can Ireland have bilateral trade relations with any other country. And this is really basic because Ireland does 32%, it sells 32% of its exports to the US, and it only sells 38% to the EU. So for a 6% difference, we don't make a contribution to the US every year. We don't have an open borders policy with Washington every year, but we do trade. That's because trade tariffs are very low compared to the 1970s. When we joined the EU in the 1970s, EU made up 30% of global GDP. Now it's 15% and falling. So demographically, democratically and economically, the EU is a decreasing, diminishing and falling political union. And that's why I believe we should get out and start trade relationships with the rest of the world where we can be an independent country and make our own laws and make our own decisions like an adult country. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Another aspect which people, well, the Irish people are being misled. I see there's an article, you may have seen it online, where I basically show that there was an article a year and a half ago, on, I think it was October a year and a half ago, where RTE had an article online saying that Ireland was a net contributor for 3 years and was basically given 300,000 a year to the EU. It's completely untrue because Ireland was a net contributor since 2013, and in that time we were given roughly 750 million net contribution to the EU, not 300 as per the RTE article. And now we have another article. There's another article published in October in the Irish Independent saying once again that Ireland gave a net contribution of 300 million to the EU in 2021. Now this is a complete lie, and it's easy to prove because you yourself can go to the Department of Finance site, look up Budgetary Statistics 2021 and find on table 10 that Ireland didn't give 300 million net to the EU budget in 2021. No, it gave 1,089 million euros to the EU budget in 2021. So it just shows that the political class and the media class are completely in bed together. They're completely in hock to the European Union, and they're willing to lie to you, to the Irish public, about our relations, our subservient relation with the EU, and well, the only way to become an independent state is to leave the European Union and become a sovereign Ireland. That's what we want, reunited and independent Ireland. We can only do that outside of both Brussels and London control. So we can talk about relations on this island among ourselves and decide our own future. Another problem with the EU is that, well, Treaty of Nice, remember we had to vote for that not once but twice because we gave the wrong answer the first time. We were forced to vote again, and pretty much a gun was placed to our head by our own government and by these bureaucrats in Brussels, and we were forced to vote again until we gave the right answer. Well, the significance of the Treaty of Nice is that we enlarged into Eastern Europe, and it gave open borders to Eastern Europe, which with a poorer population and a large number of people came here. Actually, Up until 2009, I think it was about 500,000 people came from Eastern Europe, came to work and reside in Ireland. But I believe that it was the EU membership which gave the mentality that it was okay for anybody to come and live in Ireland. And since then, that idea that anybody can come to Ireland has expanded to anybody outside the EU. Anybody who lands in Dublin and says, oh, asylum, can come and stay and reside in Ireland. And also, we've given out lots of work permits to people outside the EU. From that, they eventually, in many cases, get the right to become Irish citizens and gain Irish passports. I think this is wrong. I think only Irish people should be Irish citizens. Only Irish people should have Irish passports, unless they're naturalised or they married an Irish person, which is fine, and like everywhere else, they can get an Irish passport. But you just don't become a citizen of Ireland because you work here for a few years. No. But I would like to emphasise that the EU membership has created the mentality in Ireland that we have no borders and that anybody can come here. And it's very dangerous. So it's something we have to examine and change over the years. That we need to regain this idea of national independence, sovereignty, of borders, and that we are a country and we decide who comes in here and how long they can reside. And if they either misbehave or if they've finished their work permit, that they go back, repatriate to their own country. And we wish them all the best and hope they do well from the experience that they've gained in Ireland and the money that they've made, and wish them the best. But they cannot become Irish citizens because that's reserved for Irish people alone. So my name is Herman Kelly. I'm president of the Irish Freedom Party. Go Ramagasa.